Welcome back, participants. Now we are entering the first technical session based on emerging trends in multimedia during pandemic. Now we shall start with the oral presentation under the presence of Mr. Mayuresh Pathanchekki, founder of Next Step Design Media House, Kolhapur, Maharashtra, and Ms. Ritu Bararia, currently on board score as the senior director. Starting with Ms. Jaya Tiwari, who's presenting a paper on role of mass media inducing fear for the control of COVID-19.
Hello everyone. Today's topic is role of mass media inducing fear for the control of COVID-19. I, Jaya Tiwari, am the author of the research paper. I would like to credit our professor Dr. Amrita Pawar ma'am. Abstract. COVID-19 is a deadly contagious infection first discovered in China during the year 2019. It slowly started spreading globally and several infections started risking worldwide because the proper treatment and medication or the vaccine were unknown during the beginning. In order to prevent the disease from spreading, every country decided to impose a complete lockdown. India imposed a complete lockdown during the last week of March 2020. Only essential services like medicine shops and groceries were open with certain restrictions. People started to spend more time online on the internet during the lockdown. The usage of social media increased even more during the pandemic as it was the only source of information. Why I have chosen this topic? First, media plays a very important role not only in just entertaining people but also informing them. Second, during the pandemic, the media played an important role in not only informing people but at the same time affecting them in many other ways. Introduction. Daily rate of infections, recoveries, treatment, teleconsultation with doctors, booking doctor appointments, availability of hospital and other essential services, news about the pandemic and its effect worldwide, everything was available online. This information made our lives simpler to reach out for information. But on the other hand, it also affected every individual's mental health. Many people were getting mentally upset on hearing the updates. They felt stressed and anxious about the lockdown and pandemic situation. People lost their jobs, closed ones due to coronavirus. Many people were unable to support their families. People around the entire world faced problems which were being shared on mass media. People sitting at home and watching this news were concerned over what if the same happened to them. Also, many people became depressed sitting at home for such a long time. Mass media is a powerful and reliable source for everyone to be updated with the latest information regarding what is happening worldwide. At the same time, it can also spread panic and fear amongst the public. All sorts of sources need to verify their information before publishing it on publicly accessible platforms. In this paper, we talk about how mass media affected people apart from keeping them updated, informed, and entertained. In this article, the writer Chiusi mentions how social media has added to the pandemic as an infodemic. The WHO, which is the World Health Organization, declared that they are currently fighting not only an international epidemic but also a social media infodemic, with some media claiming that the coronavirus is the first true social media infodemic because it has accelerated information and misinformation worldwide and is fueling panic and fear among people. ABC News reported a poll claiming that in the age of social media, anxiety about the coronavirus spreads faster than the virus itself, resulting in public panic worldwide. On the other hand, social media is also a practical platform for spreading of public health messages to audiences. After COVID-19 appeared and was transmitted to other countries outside of mainland China, people turned to social media to know more about the virus. According to Mola, in just 24 hours, there were 19 million mentions of COVID-19 across social media and news sites worldwide. Social media impacted the buying crisis when many tried to buy toilet paper and other items because of the spreading fear of COVID-19 on social media. In his research, he also conducted a survey and prepared statistical analysis to ensure that his research was to the point and genuine. The first question in this study asked participants, which social media platform do you use to get news and information about COVID-19? Through the answer to this question, it was clear to him that people spend a lot of time on social media and they depend mostly on social media for any information regarding COVID-19. He also covered one more important aspect of media while conducting this survey, where he asked the participants to answer a question which was, what news topics you mostly heard, read, or seen during the pandemic. He also mentioned a very prominent question where he asked the participants to mention how the information that was being posted on social media or any other platform was affecting them. Conclusion. From the above research review, I feel that media sort of created panic amongst people. People were not able to differentiate which information was correct or wrong. One could argue that the panic caused by the media was a little worse than the actual pandemic. As media people, we have a very important role to play both now and in the future. Since younger people are also consuming information from social media and then spreading it to their family and friends, universities are ideal places to design courses and symposiums that can help students and faculty discern how to search for, find, and evaluate health information in the case of an epidemic or pandemic. References. The first one, Pandemics in the Age of Twitter. Content analysis of tweets during pandemic written by Chusi and Impact of Mass Media during the Pandemic Aditi Malikar.
Thank you, Jaya. Now, I would request Mr. Gaurav Singh to present his paper on PR trends during COVID 19.
Hello everyone, my name is Gaurav Singh and I am the student of ZSCT Thakur Shyamnarayan Degree College and I am pursuing department of BAMMC Bachelor in Multimedia and Mass Communication. My name is Gaurav Singh and I am presenting my topic is PR trend in COVID-19. PR trend during COVID-19. The COVID-19 pandemic has the affecting as a world changing every aspect of human behavior and the way of business working. The pandemic has brought in the period of crisis of organisms that have witness and to adapt to the new environment are the keys of survival and enthusiasm exits the future customers with the help of dynamic change are the roses of responsibilities of public reaction relation. Traditionally, PR tools have many twists and turns. The mass soften it and the intonate of often with a personal touch while it following straight and can help business reinvent their PR. A new trend is marketing and the role of influence increasing users and the increasing others. Followers and friends are always opinion leaders. The feeling have a personal relationship with one opinion leader always speak to brand organisms. In the day of COVID-19, people are looking a real world expense for the trusted and the accessible sources to solve their problems. Sending message through influence is a wise, convicting way to reach the general public in the pandemic. Leader opinions are advice are always important. People want to hear basis, especially during difficult time. Disease is a PR straightway level of the experience and knowledge of key PR you customer. Various media platforms like NGOs and social instructure are the insight. Expertise and advice are related topics. Blogs, interview, product, calls to client and customers are create and make the special bond between organization and its general public. Online community of exchanging opinions and experience about the brand is their life of beginning and online review. Brand is the communication to refer feedback and understand customers need and consumers save as the transmit over the product and the service. Brands are the using the latest news draw attention to the organization and the cases. uh, NCR's activity designs as a presence on the social media platform of the event plans are the attention and the brand awareness. Its summary finding the space and the time frames of the convents of the with the happening around you and the great media relationship. We School 2020. CRPS has the fire a report planners that are the analyzing business trends and also the impact of COVID-19 on the business where are the business is the working of life balance and the mental state problems are increasing associated with the increasing various and the impact of the covid-19 of the difficult type of the from homes sources, a savings and a demanding communication type of the expert gaining on the 444 in the house groups within the place sectors and known as the solar areas where are the groups are formally grown ever the kind of organization particularly coursing the companies as agents over the service 12 months. Mandy Pierce of the President CIPR said the survive periods a wealth of knowledge through it tells server and the stories and the experience their past view participants. It has been the stationary of possible, not the server expense with the positive growth has been the middle of the dramatic increase in the operation hours. Challenge are the studies with the found of the practitioners and the five times additional nations which we will the solve the celebrity success. We tend to the area ni- uh, we tend the area united tuned to the following effects with the expense of promotion unity closely pairs under the gems 2021. Conclusion: the public relation business has been the under coverage changes over the last of dramatic from the print and the reporting portals of the digital media and the effective measures the recent years public relation have grown and been the expect in the important building a brand quality. The COVID-19 pandemic is the something one of the plans is deal with the economic have with the recognition and as people fight the coronavirus have been the topic in the over review that business model and the revisions. There were the survives industrial that the top even the within organization the solution was the rosy with the focus budget cuts and all the departments this year. Marketing has been the hard by the significant reductions in the marketing budget in also organization. Many of the important of the conclusion are the here because the trend of the COVID-19 there is the many market are getting a very effect and worst side because the COVID-19 issue is more of the then and many online business setup was going very big and even if the brand become a blockbuster and PR will play a very major role again in 2020. These are the reference biographical Jan 2020 October public relationship COVID-19 relative. There are some site to check their belongs. Thank you.
Thank you, Gaurav. Now, I would request Ms. Trishala Tambe to present her paper on media and the COVID-19 pandemic.
So my topic here is media and the COVID-19 pandemic. So why I choose this topic? I chose this topic because the outbreak of coronavirus disease in 2019 has created a global health crisis that has had a deep impact on the way we perceive our world and our everyday life. Not only the rate of contagion and patterns of transmission threatens our sense of agency, but the safety measures put in place to contain the spread of the virus also require social distancing by refraining from doing what is inherently human, which is to find solace in the company of others. Within this context of physical threat, social and physical distancing, as well as public alarm, what has been the role of the different mass media channels in our life on individual, social, and societal levels. Mass media have long been recognized as a powerful forces shaping how we experience the world and ourselves. This recognition is accompanied by a growing volume of research that closely follows the footsteps of technological transformation. Mass media have long been recognized as powerful forces shaping how we follow the footsteps of technological transformations. We harness the flexibility and ubiquity of media technologies to increase the public's adherence to the safety measures suggested by global health organizations to combat the spread of COVID-19. Media and its role during COVID-19 was effective health communication. Effective communication system during a pandemic includes content, method, people, and partners. Content is phased and situation specific, ensuring communication precedes and monitors the operational and community response during the various pandemic stages. Process includes various platforms such as blogs, call centers, webinars, conference calls, online health group videos, digital news media are the means to ensure communication. Fear, distrust, and resistance are common reactions during pandemic. Trusted and credible information sources are critical for moving people from awareness to action. Communications before, during, and after a pandemic are direct to partners, places, and networks viewed by vulnerable populations as accurate, trustworthy, and accessible. Public health communication: the virus called SARS-CoV-2 causes coronavirus disease, which was named COVID-19 by the World Health Organization. The speedy spread of this infection globally became a source of public worry, and several unknowns regarding this new pathogen created a state of panic. Mass media became the major source of information about the novel coronavirus. The media significantly contributed to the COVID-19 infodemic. The media played a worldwide role in coronavirus disease tracking and updates through live updates dashboard. The media allowed for timely interventions by the Center for Disease Control and Prevention (CDC) and the World Health Organization, enabling a rapid and widespread reach of public health communications. We saw an upward trend for the promotion of health and hygiene practices worldwide by adoption of safe health practices such as increased hand washing, use of face coverings, and social distancing. Media reinforced illness preventing guidelines daily, and people were encouraged to use telehealth to meet their healthcare needs. Mass media has an imperative role in today's world, and it can provide a unified platform for all public health communications. Comprehensive healthcare education guidelines and robust social distancing strategies while still maintaining social connections. It can enable equal access to healthcare and discrimination and social stigmatization. The role of media and public health communications must be understood and explored further as they will be an essential tool for communication COVID-19 and future outbreaks. Effective strategies for helping individuals during the coronavirus or any pandemic situation. When in public places, especially if they are having symptoms such as cough, fever, etc., to avoid direct droplet contact, stay at home as much as possible. Avoid physical contact like handshakes, hand holding, or hugs. Avoid touching surfaces such as tabletops, chairs, door handles, etc. Strategies in the control of an outbreak are screening, containment, and vegetation. Screening is done with a device such as a thermometer to detect the elevated body temperature associated with fever caused by the coronavirus. Containment is undertaken in the early stages of the outbreak and aims to trace and isolate those infected as well as introduce other measures to stop the disease from spreading. When it is no longer possible to contain the disease, efforts then move to the mitigation stage. Measures are taken to slow the spread and mitigate its effect on the healthcare system and society. A combination of both containment and mitigation measures may be undertaken at the same time. Reduction of stigma. Since the outbreak of pandemic in India, there existed a negative perception towards those infected with the disease. The COVID-19 patients were accused of being ignorant and negligent, thereby being held responsible for contracted the virus. The COVID-19 patients were being stereotyped as the active spreaders of coronavirus and were being treated as the passive acquirers of the disease. Such a stereotype led the society to adopt several negative treatments directed against them. Being a typical condition, the devaluation associated with the mark of COVID-19 is indelible. Probably that is why the consequences attached to this stigmatization are so devastating that even the formerly diagnosed continue to be stigmatized. And even after defeating the virus, they have not been able to free themselves from being shunned by the society. They are reported being treated as untouchables, receiving the humiliating taunts and fingers pointed against them and their family. Their lane of residence has been named as Corona Valley Delhi, that is Corona Street, and the associated burden is strong enough that it has even compelled them to sell their own house. The fear among the people is so intense that it has led them to blame the society and reporters, daily wagers, and the migrants, and also the religion. I feel very grateful and honored that my teacher, Ms. Ruhita Joshi ma'am, gave me this chance to present my research paper in front of everyone and guiding me throughout. Without her guidance, this presentation would have been complete. But with the help of her guidance, this was a success, and I was able to complete my research paper. I would also like to thank my college, ZSCT'S Thakur Shyamnarayan Degree College, for giving me this opportunity. This surely helped me enhance my knowledge on the topic and also my presentation skills. In conclusion to this topic, I would like to say that COVID-19 is a global crisis that has spread throughout the world at a dangerously fast pace. Mass media plays a huge role in circulating information, influences the people's behavior, and can curtail the spread of disease. In this article, we discuss the positive and negative impacts of media and propose steps that can be taken to use media effectively in outbreaks. Furthermore, we recommend creating a model to evaluate the media response at the end of each epidemic and pandemic. This evaluation can serve as a feedback for the media to help devise better and more effective strategies to control and prevent subsequent outbreaks. Thank you.
Now, moving on to Mr. Madhav Hera. He will be presenting his paper on emerging trends in COVID-19 pandemic.
Hi, my name is Madhaveda, student of ZSCT'S Thakur Shyamnarayan Degree College, pursuing BAMMC, Bachelor in Multimedia and Mass Communication. My topic is 5 emerging trends in COVID-19 pandemic. Yes, 5 emerging trends in COVID-19 pandemic. First thing is why I chose this topic. Have you ever imagined that 3 billion people will be in lockdown? Yes, but we haven't imagined. But now it's true to mankind. We have nearly 3 billion people of the world have been under lockdown. COVID-19, already declared as the pandemic by World Health Organization, and has impacted nearly 200 countries and territories, taking away 250,000 lives in the span of 3 months. From Wuhan to Tehran, Milan to New York, Paris to London, and many major international cities are under massive attack. World leaders like Joe Biden, Narendra Modi are trying their best to tackle the crisis, and sadly, the idea might run out soon as international organizations like WHO struggle with the cope of COVID-19. An unassuming virus has challenged world leadership capabilities and inadvertently led to the governments and the corporations reflecting on getting their priorities right, especially with regards to the state of public health system all over the world. Introduction. The coronavirus outbreak is now impacting our personal and professional lives. Many are trying to navigate through their unfolding businesses, complexities related to people, supply chain, financial health, customer engagement, and risk management. We are currently going through one of the most significant historical changes ever experienced in the last 100 years. Old business will change, new business will emerge. We have already seen a shift in a service our clients and are adopting as a response to this pandemic. Essential services in relation to healthcare, energy and natural resources, water, and emergency services will continue to be in demand, although the business models from these industries have changed. Industries have changed their business models. We need to be vigilant and cautious about the further impact of spread of coronavirus and designed to create a new ways of living and working. We need to gain inspiration in how two of the most popular nations of the world, India and China, are managing the situation. The collective wealth of Western nations will reduce the repurpose and spending of improved health care. 5 emerging trends in COVID-19 pandemic. The first, worldwide slowdown and lack of employment opportunities. One of the major reasons of unemployment is COVID-19. Second, increasing inequality and political uncertainty. Yes, due to COVID-19, India and other countries like UK, US, China has impacted, very much impacted, because globalization has stopped. Changes in social behavior. Yes, due to coronavirus, due to COVID-19 lockdown, all the people are in their home and they do not have job opportunities, they do not have job, so they are going in depression. Governance paradigm digital shift. Yes, this is one of the most positive in span because Earth is healing. Yes, the Earth is healing. And last, the new world order. Worldwide slowdown and lack of employment opportunities. COVID 19 has impacted over 200 nations around the sector, and each has suffered the phases of human loss and modernity slowdown. The globe's two biggest economies, the United States and China, had been locked down in the struggle fair of an extra than 12 months now. And with the pandemic, each economy has suffered because of a lockdown factories, shut down manufacturing lines, etc. The US these days recorded the very best unemployment fee in a long time and have misplaced about $15 trillion really well worth of wealth for the reason that began of the COVID-19 outbreak. Mortality index also are very high, reflecting the uncertainty and tension within inside of markets. The International Labour Organization (ILO) said that almost 195 million humans have already misplaced their jobs for the reason that began for 12 months 2020, and a further 25 million jobs have misplaced after COVID-19 outbreak. The International Monetary Fund additionally said that the COVID-19 pandemic is projected to decrease the sector output by a means of 3%. Yes, 3%. Increase inequality and political uncertainty. The IMF describes COVID-19 as the darkest time of mankind. Yes, the darkest time of mankind. The COVID-19 pandemic created confusions and horror, and the world leaders didn't have a ready-made solution so far. So far, more than half of IMF member countries have applied for unlimited funding from IMF. Globalization suddenly stopped as borders were restricted and global supply chain shrunk. Uncertainty between nations will increase, blockades will extend, economic rivalization, anti-vaccines will found risks such as virus infections. In the wake of COVID-19, countries may blame and force alliance. The process of fighting COVID-19 and the post-COVID-19 world has revealed increasing social and economic inequalities around the world. Yes, inequalities around the world. This time, testing the government's management and the vision of all leaders. The whole rules of major international organizations, especially WHO, are being discussed, and the function of these organizations are subjected to change as a later date. Changes in the social behavior. Yes, measures such as extended lockdown periods, isolation, and forced social distancing have impacted the society in general. People might develop anxiety due to increased uncertainty, job insecurities, lack of social support, leading to rise in alcoholism, divorce, suicides, domestic violence, drugs, or other harmful behaviors. In the aftermath of COVID-19, the idea of holiday traveling will change as airport securities become stringent, surveillance in the public places and will become more intensive. And working from home may become the norm for the most of the workforces. As governments will have to clearly set out plans for dealing with the mental well-being and the health of their citizens. Governance paradigm shift. The positive externalities of COVID-19 pandemic in many cities, such of highly urbanized world, were reduced pollution. Yes, the pollution is reduced. Reduced industrial activities, reduced waste, reduced toxin product produced. Environment protections, denegations of the informal sector of developing countries, and doing businesses remotely with a minimum mobility are the trends that emerge in governments at the various levels in the public and private sector. Governments, especially developing countries, need to focus on the pollution control measures, increase investment in public health systems, develop IT infrastructure, reduce carbon dioxides. The concept of basic income for all the householders will repair political debate. Government will also invest in defense mechanisms, especially those aimed at combating bacterial and biological warfare, establish specialized agencies to address these potential threats. Increased funding will go to professional training, infrastructure of the country processes, virus, attack, or related one of the futures. The new world order. The new world order. Taiwan, Singapore have shown willingness and strength to respond to the crisis. But COVID-19 countries such as Bangladesh, Vietnam, Philippines will keep an eye on the companies looking for new productions areas and prepare economies as a new production centers. China managed to survive and overcome Chinese pandemic, but India will recover and create opportunities. The ongoing crisis provides us with an opportunity to think that about priorities at the state of family, individual level, at the institutional levels, and it's time to invest more resources in public health systems, infrastructures, medical training, and at the individual levels, all the citizens need to think about our ideas of improving quality of life, such as lifestyles, consumption levels, respects, protection of nature through dependence on technology. Pandemic was undoubtedly spectacular for many world leaders competing of economic success and expansions. In the face of the crisis, all citizens and world leaders need to truly understand the fragility of human life and implications of coexisting as human and other species of this planet. Conclusion. The impact of COVID-19 has been compared to the global financial crisis of 2007 and 8, to World War II, and to the crisis that can be only seen in history books. Yes, in the history books. This may seem dramatic, but pandemics have widespread impact on almost every aspect of development, like some of the crises so far. What is full scope to the pandemic to collect and analyze data, tailor and develop funding to meet national needs, extremely poverty, and to continue work to promote common prosperity. You don't even know this year. Perfectly accomplished mission, we continue to be long-term partner in our client countries, providing the data, technical support, and funding needed to guide the global community from the truly global crisis. Stay home, stay safe. Thank you.
Thank you, Madhav. Now, moving on to Ms. Duhita Joshi, Assistant Professor, Department BAMMC. She would be presenting her paper on Media and Entertainment Industry, Witnessing New Trends Post-COVID-19.
A very good morning to all. My name is Divita Joshi, and for this national conference, I'm going to review a paper named Film Industry During COVID-19. So as we all know that COVID-19 pandemic has brought some major changes in our life. It has just changed the way how we look at certain things, and also it has changed our lifestyle. It has changed the socio-economic and political dimensions. So there are a lot of changes that are happening which are quite massive. We have changed, our lifestyle. Along with that, there are things like, wearing masks every day and taking precautions, using hand sanitizers every day. So this is all just to combat the COVID-19 pandemic. But along with that, one of the major change that affected the world is the loss of jobs, the industries that are going down. So when we talk about this change, there are different industries that have been suffering a lot because of the COVID-19 pandemic, and film industry is no exception to it. So we have this preconceived notion about certain things, like we feel that film industry is always making so much of business. It is always a lucrative business, earning a lot of money. So how come something like COVID-19 can change a film industry, and how and in what ways are they suffering? So that is what we are going to understand. The first thing is that the rise of over-the-top platforms, which means that film industry has changed completely. Earlier, we remember going to the theaters and watching the films. That used to give us a sheer joy. But because there have been lockdown for quite some time now, and people have been sitting home, they have been looking for options to entertain themselves in some or the other way. So this thing has brought about the rise of over the top platforms. So now there are, we can see that as the technology is advancing, there is a digital era that is coming up, and it is, in forefront. So this, to welcome this digital era, it's not just the youngsters who are excited, but it's also the older generation who is excited to know the benefits of it. So be it your WhatsApp calls and staying connected with the people, or watching some old daily soaps over over the top platforms that are available nowadays. So that is one. Also, the constant use of advanced technology has resulted in converting the media consumption into habit formation. Nowadays, we can't even imagine ourselves in a situation where we don't have technology with us, where we are not using social media, or where we don't have anything to entertain us. So this thing has become a habit now, and excessive media consumption, the content that we are getting nowadays has grown a lot. Next is nowadays there are massive platforms. There is a plethora of options available for all of us to view various content. So be it web series which are having some different ideas, different content. It's like a breathe of fresh air apart from just specific genres which are like romance and drama and melodrama. So these things that are coming up, which are giving us a different idea and a different perspective to look upon. Next is, it is also interesting to know that what business is made by the film industry. Okay, so media and entertainment industry, because now the OTT platform is rising. Okay, somewhere this business is going, upstairs and going downstairs, because one is that the OTT platforms are bringing in the major profits. It is gaining the OTP, the TRPs are rising. There is a rise in how people they are viewing the content 24/7, and there is no halt to it. Along with that, because we are paying some hefty amount for these subscriptions, the OTT platforms are making it a lucrative business. But on the other hand, if we talk about film industry is going down somewhere, because there are no theaters that are opened up. So because of that, there is somewhere film industries are going a little low. There is no box office collection which people, which are actually waiting for, but then, that is not there. So during COVID-19, film industry suffered largely because of no box office collections, and because people were also paying hefty amounts for this subscriptions on Netflix and Hotstar and Amazon Prime and so on. Many actors, the lives of the actors have also changed. So we always are in awe with, to see how these actors, they are constantly maintaining themselves and have a really good amount of, this necessary luxuries that they always enjoy. So how film industry has affected their lives is also something interesting to know. Many new budding actors who are actually looking out for some prospects in the media industry, they've been suffered a lot because they actually lost their jobs, they lost their opportunities because no films were aired on theaters. But it's also a good opportunity that many lost actors whom we don't see nowadays are seen in web series. So they are making their mark over there in web series, and there are various content, interesting content which is coming up on web series all the time, which is again really is entertaining, and people they actually love being a part of it and watching it. Now, what is the situation post COVID-19, in film industry? I think there will be slowly things that will be coming back to normal. So film industry is expected to reach at normal levels, and consumer behavior is also rapidly evolving. So we see ourselves in a situation for the film industry, spending money on marketing and advertising was really like a waste, because people were restricting their spending, and they were actually, there was a change, a lot of a massive change in the consumer behavior. So as you can see, post COVID-19, when things can get back to normal, I think somewhere these things will change. With people being excited to watch movies in theaters, there is also great demand for OTT platforms. So obviously these things are not gonna, go behind the curtains. Of course, now that we are excited to watch film in the theaters and get that feeling of, togetherness in theaters. So similarly, people are going to enjoy watching OTT platforms. They are going to still continue watch doing that. Many budding actors who have actually lost their opportunities might find a new opportunity to be on OTT platforms. And also, I'm sure that after COVID-19, film industries are also going to see this, and they're going to explore a different arena to reach out to the target audiences. And technological advances that are coming up, new technology we see, everything every day is coming new. So that is also going to add more to the content, and it is going to bring a revolution in the virtual world. And to conclude, I would like to say that COVID-19 has changed the world, as we all know, and it is going to take time to get things, to back to the normal. So the new normal, most probably we can say that it won't be a normal as how it used to be before COVID, but it will be a new normal. We will get habitual to, the media consumption patterns, and will be habitual to the things that are there around. Will be habitual to using masks, will be habitual to using sanitizers, taking precautions. But along with that, the industries will be modifying themselves according to the new COVID rules and the new change that is being brought up. So along with that, many of our choices have become our habits, as we know that we are always glued to our phones and laptops and different technologies. So that is going to take a lot of time to to disconnect yourself from these content and media consumption patterns. And many people will take precautions even after successful management of vaccines. So they are still going to that is going to impact consumer decision making and their behavior. So probably many theaters nowadays, they have started that you need to have a double vaccination, and then you can be a part of, you can watch movies in the theater. But along with that, there is going to be a different side where people are actually, getting double vaccinated. They're watching the films, but other than that, they're also coming up with different ideas to reach out to the target audience. So I feel this is what film industry will be during COVID-19 and after COVID-19. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Dusha ma'am. Here we mark the conclusion of technical session 1. Thank you.